Hey, thanks for calling the Beards and Sundries Market. You've reached Jay. Leave a message after the tone.
Hey guys, this is George and Anthony. Okay, bye.
Good evening. This is Beards and Sundries Podcast News, your one-stop news shop every Sunday, with your host, Jay. Another host, Anthony. And another host, Joe. We're your Beards and Sundries hosts and news anchors for Season 5 of Beards and Sundries.
And welcome back to the Beards and Sundries News Network.
Yes, welcome back.
So good to
I'm
see
in-
you.
I'm in my own literal.
I love it here.
Well, speaking of hell, that's right, it is time for another lunch break here at Beards and Sundries, the shop where three gay men with beards do inventory on a new sundry in each episode.
My name is Jay, and I was blown at the movies.
Pee-wee's Big Adventure?
Oh God.
No, Stuart
Okay.
Little.
Okay, that's
Not Chicken
that's just
Little?
what, that's just what they were calling your dick.
Yes, that was the joke. You dumb bitch.
I thought it was Chicken Little, because they were like,
It's a small.
Jay went
cock.
flaccid, and they were like, his dick is falling, his dick is falling.
Just choke the chicken already.
The gams, the hams.
And now
I've
the
got-
funny man, Anthony.
Shut the fuck up. I've got two of these, so pick whichever one that you think is better, and I'm going to run through them in order. I'm Anthony, and you don't face your dicks, you ride them.
Jesus Christ.
Okay, and then here's the other one. I'm Anthony, and you beardos asked me if you can shoot a 15-inch Mr. S leather butt plug into a tornado, and the answer is yes. Yes, you can.
So both are staying in. I would also like to know. Okay, and I'm Joe, and I know I'd certainly like to be in Glenn Powell's suck zone. And Beardos, that means that today's sundry item is Twisters. Beardos, this day has been a long time coming, and we wanted to do this topic when the movie came out, but we wanted to give everyone else a chance to watch the movie before we spoiled anything. Now, all of you know how much we all love the classic adventure film Gifted to the World back in 1996, so today we're going to chat about the long-awaited sequel, the adventure, the effects, the accuracy, and the performances that we were gifted with. After the break, we are going to chat about some of the things that tied in the original film to the sequel, and to wrap up today's lunch break, at the end of our show, I have a small minigame that really sucks. And blows.
Tornado jokes.
Nah, 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 nah.
Wow, cool ringtone! But, before we enter a brand agreement with Dodge to use only their vehicles in our upcoming
Jesus.
film, how about this week's voicemail?
I'm so glad somebody finally did that.
Thanks, guys. We love you.
Wait, I've got a better one.
Love you a lot.
I got a better one.
I can't really do it as well.
Hey,
as you
boys.
guys.
Hey, boys, this is Joe and Jay.
And
Anthony is what I was looking
Oh.
for.
Oh, okay. Well, I got there.
Yeah, sorry.
Anthony.
But thank you for that riveting performance. I can't wait to hear more like it.
Yes, thanks, boys. We always appreciate a good George and Anthony call.
Amen. That's 2 weeks in a row.
Thank God.
Take notes, everyone.
Seriously.
While I'm thinking about it, we have two more in the lineup. So
And the hopper.
call now and leave your voicemails for the future.
If you want to be one of the voicemails that makes it the reason that we make it to October, then make sure to call that number. That's 405-999-2242.
But, Joe, do you think I can find the aluminum that I need to put on my trailer so that my barrels get sucked up into the tornado properly?
No, we only have Beards and Sundries tinfoil. You can't really use it for shit.
It's that really bad tinfoil that tears immediately.
Yeah, that you get from the Dollar Tree.
Just
Yeah.
imagine, like, you know how, like, Sister Schubert's, like, Pep Boys, all those have, like, their logos. Just imagine our logo on all the products. That's just, like, we're just like, meh.
I now
Why are
just
you
want
buying
to have
this?
Beards and Sundries products where we're just like, meh, duct tape.
They push the button. Customer needs assistance, and then duct tape. Ew.
Customer needs assistance in the home goods aisle.
That's aisle 4. It's all aisle 4.
No, that's Home Goods. You're in the wrong store, bitch. But if you guys are new to the show and you're wondering just what the hell a sundry is, the term comes from an old English word meaning odds and ends. Now today it's used mainly in retail as a way to group together items that don't typically have a group of their own. So, as 3 gay men with beards who are really good at blowing things down catastrophically, we are using the term to group together the wide range of topics that we cover.
How dare you bring my self-destructive nature into this?
Yeah, that's for my therapist to know and my podcast about therapy to know.
That's my life to burn down, Joe.
That's
Don't
my
you bring
life
it
to
up
burn
here.
down where I want to burn it down, and this wasn't the place.
And I don't need Glenn Powell shooting fireworks up in my house to burn my own house down. I'll do it my damn self, although it wouldn't hurt.
I mean, the first time I saw him shooting those fireworks up, I was like, I want Glenn Powell to shoot some fireworks up my funnel. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, at least
Dissipate
now I
me.
finally know his name off the cuff. Because
You know
I
he's
used
a
to
big
just call
guy
him-
now.
Yeah,
I just call him
Yeah,
Chad
he is.
Radwell.
Yes, me too.
Green
I could never
Queens.
think of his name except Chad Radwell.
See him as Chad Radwell every time, and I'm just like,
And
oh,
he was-
look, it's Chad Radwell.
He was so fucking annoying in that show, but I loved him.
He's so good in that
so
role.
much. It was the perfect person for that role.
He plays a douchebag really well.
They played it over great for that role, too, because his name in the film is Tyler. He went from Chad to Tyler. What's your next one? Like Memoirs of Justin? Like, what are we...
Matt.
He pulled
I don't
up
think-
in the truck, and he goes, I'm Tyler. And she goes, of course.
Yeah.
It'll be like Jared, but with an I, but not where you expect it.
Jaired.
Next up, Jared? It's Jared.
Ugh. I don't know why people can't get it right. Ugh.
The E is silent and invisible. And invisible.
It's the E that's upside down.
God.
Are you guys not cultured? Jesus.
Nope.
But switching back to Tyler shooting fireworks in tornadoes, how realistic is this to you?
The first time I saw the anchors going down into the ground, I was like, that's maybe a foot in loose farming soil.
I thought about that too. I was like, okay, you're driving around Oklahoma in the middle of storm season. You've got a tornado outbreak, which means the ground is going to be pretty well hydrated. And so
Yep.
all of that is going to be
Tis the season for
silty.
that.
And if you're driving around farmland, that shit gets tilled, man. It's not
Yeah.
packed down for years and years and years. Like, you're going to... I
get
questioned
stuck.
that pretty thoroughly as well, because I was like, I don't think that is going to hold that truck there.
Well, in his opening part where his truck comes roaring through, he's not even anchored down. He just drives into this small tornado. He's like, "It's small." And I'm like, "Buddy, that still can do some damage and flip a vehicle, like,
You know,
and break windows. What the fuck kind of glass is Dodge using?"
that's what really bothered me that whole
The entire
fucking
film.
movie. Because I was like, okay, great. Maybe, let's say your whole little augers or whatever those are, let's say those worked. Let's say you hit a really shallow piece of bedrock and you got in there, bitch. And let's just say the frame is all welded together and holds together really well, even though you have doors that the frame has to go over. Let's just say all of these things work perfectly.
And there's
What about your fucking windows?
There's literally no other debris in the tornado that could hit your vehicle and completely damage it. We're not. There's no hay bales or anything. It's literally just.
Yeah. And how many times would your radiator be blown out every fucking time? Because the radiator sits right in the front. And can you imagine just a piece of wood just plowing right through your radiator? You're fucked. Immediately, you are fucked.
In the right tornadoes, like, pieces of straw go through things.
Yeah.
There's pictures of, like, a card from a deck of cards piercing cement. I mean, tornadoes are weird.
And, Beardos, before you say maybe it was bulletproof glass... No, because at the end of the fucking movie, you see that glass is fucking broken because the truck gets turned over.
About
no
time.
Huge spoilers, but there's glass all over the ground, broken in shards, not safety glass. Like, bitch.
More glass than you've ever seen before.
It's the
Ever in your
greatest
life.
glass.
The biggest bottle of glass you've
we're
ever
gonna-
seen.
We're gonna blow the Dodge Ram over. We're gonna blow it over.
You could see
You know,
that
other
this-
people say they're gonna blow it over, but we're gonna blow it over.
You could see that this glass was made in China. Because it
We're
shattered
gonna
so
make-
easily, and if it was American made, you wouldn't have any glass everywhere.
It wouldn't be glass. It would be fine American glass.
Steel. Made by hard-working workers who aren't
And you know-
unionized and who make little money.
And you know, they can make clear steel now. They have it. They said it. They said, Mr. Trump, you inspired us. You inspired us to make the steel. You inspired us to make it clear. And I said, that's great, fellas. That's great. That's the inspiration.
I've always been an inspirer. My uncle was an inspirer, and I've always been an inspirer.
I said,
and that's how I got rid of
hardworking-
COVID.
You're hardworking people, and you inspire me too. But I should inspire you more because everyone says I inspire you more. That's what people are saying.
You know, that's what people are saying. Side note, I love being in every conversation that somebody is just staring at the screen like, what the fuck is happening?
I
But
love
I'm
it.
always the guy that's in the topic that's
That is
making
not
someone
true.
stare.
That's 100% not true. I have seen your deadpan resting bitch face a million times.
I'm
editing
just
this
laughing
podcast.
between last week and this week.
I'm just nice and I edit that out, Jay, all the
No,
time.
thank
It
you.
is. There's
Maybe
so
maybe
much of
not
it.
anymore.
No. I'm just between last week's episode and this week's, where Joe and I were singing, and then this one, Joe's just watching Anthony and I do Trump things. I know that I space out a lot and just stare.
I want Jay's birthday episode this year to just be whatever the regular episode is, but the camera never switches from Jay the whole time.
And he has
was
to
like-
listen to us talk.
That's
Yeah.
it. It's just the episode where you two are talking, and it's just me, just from all the seasons.
And you're doing a Wendy's mukbang.
That's a great question. What interests do Joe and I have that you don't intersect with, Jay?
Pokemon.
Definitely Pokemon.
Yeah, you're right. Okay.
Well,
there we
and
go.
you guys are more into gaming stuff than I am, so you can get into that a little more. You guys have this immaculate memory for TV show scenes, movies, and stuff. I don't.
Joe's is better than mine for sure because I get stuff wrong all the time.
And so, like, a lot of times you guys will go down, especially stuff for, what's that cartoon?
American Dad.
Nope, the robot.
Oh, Futurama?
Yes, Futurama. You guys will do
The one literally on Anthony's
You
shirt.
talking about
yeah.
this shirt that I got right here? It says "Kill all humans." That's what I always say.
Condone murder. But,
That was so good just now.
yeah.
That show you like.
Robot.
yeah,
Robot.
whatever that one is. Which,
Frank,
I even know the
Frank
name
did
of
a
it, I just don't
mushroom.
remember. Frank did a mushroom. Speaking of, this weekend I get to go back and paint ceramics again because one of my other friends is very gay and was like, I want to do that. And I'm excited.
I love my friends is very gay as like sort of a non sequitur into that exclamation because it was like the two things are not necessarily related, but you did make
But
it a
they are?
stereotype. Yeah.
They are.
The best
Get
part about
real.
it is he's probably like the straightest acting gay friend I have.
But he was still like, I don't do that. I can't even do it. I'm trying really hard. I
mean,
want to be more gay.
Yeah. I'm going to be as gay as I could be.
You know, they say I'm the gayest. I'm the gayest. You know, people are saying. People are saying. They asked and they said he's the gayest. You know.
I inspired your gayness.
And Taylor Swift, she said I'm the gayest too. You know, you can ask her. This girl, she's so into me. She says I wish you were straight, but you're the gayest man I know. That's what they're saying.
Lion Kamala said you weren't gay enough, and I said you're gay enough.
And I said you're the gayest person.
Because of me, I inspired you to be gayer.
No.
I'm really worried about the title of this episode now because it's going to be something about Trump and twisters, and Anthony's going to try and make some really creative word salad.
Trumpsters. Wait,
We'll see what happens.
that didn't work out as well as I thought it was.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
a good
neither
one.
did they.
Wow. Trumpsters.
Uh-oh, twump.
Twumps. Don't search that on Pornhub.
Twistumps.
Wait, why?
Twumps.
Have you searched it? What's on there?
Oh my god, my phone just blew up.
It'll blow you away.
I don't know if it will.
You'll look it up. You'll look it up, and fireworks just immediately shoot up your ass, and you're like, "Hey, I'm trying to
Hey.
blow here."
I'm like, Kesha, this place about to blow.
So this is happening in the Bronx now.
It is now. We've transitioned we've gone from
Asshole.
Trump Tower down down to the ground level, and now we're out in New York on the streets, and that's where we're at.
Hey, I'm chasing a tornado in a Dodge here.
I mean, I'm not, but I'm walking here.
Speaking of New York City, did you guys like in the beginning how it flashed like forward to her new job now, and she works in New York City, and there was this school field trip there, and the woman was like talking about the different tornadoes, and the little girl was like, "Is the tornado gonna hit New York?" I was just sitting there.
She
I was
doesn't-
like, "What a stupid fucking fucking idiot! What the fuck are you talking
And they like
about?"
literally like drop.
It's gonna
kick
get on
her.
an airplane and drop down to LaGuardia and come get you, you stupid idiot.
So one of the things that this movie and the movie Twister really tried to do, but Twister did it with a slightly more subtlety. Let me not say actual subtlety, but slightly more subtlety than this movie did, is they try to personify the tornadoes as sort of like a humanoid. And so you'll hear them say things like, instead of that little girl saying, "Is a tornado going to hit New York?" what she says is a tornado going to come to New York, implying that it has like some sort of will to do that. And so you'll hear little lines like that throughout the movie where they're trying to like personify the tornado and make it the antagonist to the movie.
They
And
do
tried
it-
to do that in Twister as well. It's just a slight bit more subtle, but in this
She's
movie
coming.
it is plastered everywhere.
She's coming right for you.
Oh, there's Big Boy. Oh, here she comes. I'm like,
Yeah,
what?
it's the shit.
What
like
kind
in
of
the
kink
first
is
movie,
this?
but it's like you didn't have to see it. Skip that house and this house and come after you, and like that's the type of personification that they're talking about.
Yeah. And then the later online when he was like, "We have to stop it. It's coming for everyone we love." And
Yeah,
I'm like,
yes.
Wait a minute. It's coming for people that live in Tornado Alley. It is not
Also,
hunting
It's
down
barely
people that
even
you
coming
love.
for them.
I want to poke another plot hole in the other antagonist, which is the guy who's chasing these tornadoes and buying up
Jonas
land.
Jr.
Is that his name?
I don't fucking know. That's
Basically-
what I'm not the old man. It's the other guy, Javi's like partner. That's Jonas Jr. in my mind.
from MIT. Yeah.
Yeah,
oh
yeah,
no,
yeah.
I was thinking of the real estate guy.
Oh, the guy
he's
with the
working
bolo
for.
tie.
Yeah.
I said, Stan, that bolo tie, it's fucking gay as fuck.
This guy is going around and chasing tornadoes to buy up people's land for cheap. And I'm like, okay, that makes sense. In a metro. In these tiny towns out in the middle of fucking nowhere, Oklahoma, what is this guy going to develop?
I know. It blows my mind, literally. Because,
I did think about you, Jay, during that part because you're working land, and I was like, I wonder what Jay thinks about this right now.
I was just sitting there like, this is the stupidest idea. Your land values out here already suck. You can't develop anything out here. That's a value. That's a profitable value.
It's just this guy, and he's like super evil, and he's just like, I can't wait to buy up all this land and put up high rises and go bankrupt and default on the loans. And
It's
that's
me.
how Trump
I'm gonna
runs
build
his real
this Shake
estate
Shack, and
business.
I'm gonna get it finally.
I couldn't get over all of I get it. They have to make these storylines to make these movies make sense. And I guess if you don't know how this stuff works, you'll be like, that's a really good storyline. But my brain's like, nothing makes sense. You're driving around a Dodge, not blowing out windows. You're driving through tornadoes and everything's fine. And you've got this land guy going, I'm going to buy your surface rights to build cheap houses.
But it also blows my mind because, like, how many hundreds of thousands of dollars do you think they spent on overhead? Just generally, because each one of those fucking, what was it, the Durangos were like $112,000.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and
Yeah.
the same with the Ram, the TRX, whatever the fuck. I was texting our friend Will because he's a pretty big car buff, and he told me that basically it's because it's Stellantis's last like 6.8 liter V8 engine ever in a production car, so they're like hyping it up, and people are like gonna claim it as a collector. I'm like, whatever, it's a fucking Dodge product, so go off, I guess. But
Now,
it just
Beardos, you
didn't
might
make
be
sense.
wondering what Stellantis is, because you may have never heard of them in relation to cars, but much like all other products that we get sold on a day-to-day basis, a lot of car brands fall under one actual ownership umbrella, and that would be Stellantis as one of them.
Stellantis, Umbrella Corporation, bad. Stellantis, bad.
Yeah. Sort of like Procter and Gamble, Nestle.
Oh, Nestle is so evil, but that's a different episode.
Anyways, just so you know. And so your children will know.
And so the interwebs will know.
And so you all will know.
Well, so speaking of the nefarious antagonist plan with the real estate guy, he had also come back from the military and he wanted to test new technology. So this is where the movie, I think, took the biggest step off the rails into Fantasyland for me, was when he was just like, we have this military radar that'll point at the weather and give us a scan, and it's highly technological. And I was like, okay, what?
They had to plant, was it 3 or 4 sonars in a
3.
specific
3.
spot,
Yes.
right in the path of a tornado, and I'm like, awesome.
It's
Do
3D.
you know-
You got to get a 3-dimensional image with 3 remote radar
Do,
scanners.
do you know how fast tornadoes move?
That was the best part.
Tornadoes are normally moving at the rate of a standard car on a basic road. I mean, they're moving like a storm speed would. It's very rare that they go super slow. I mean, they can, but it's just rare.
Not common.
The whole time I was just like, why don't they just put it on top of the car and then like shimmy, shimmy, shimmy? If your Dodge is so damn powerful, then
Now,
why can't you
listen
get
here,
around it in
Joe.
3 points and
You
stay around
fucking
it?
Listen here, because if that was the case, if they had done that, that whole little plot point with her in the first time they tried to deploy it would not have happened, and then the plot wouldn't have carried on the way it did, and she wouldn't have felt bad, and then there wouldn't have been that whole little transition between Act 1 and Act 2.
Do you want to know where I probably laughed the most, though?
Yes.
It was probably about the 3rd time that they're like, which way should we go? And all of a sudden it would like pan out into a field, and all of a sudden it would be like doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo, and there would be this waving weed or something. She'd be like, east. It was always this like, I have the sense of a god.
I know.
And she was always right.
She's just looking, and it's the cell over there is stronger, but this one's gonna be better.
She like licks her thumb and like sticks it up in the air, and she's like, the moisture is better
was-
on this side of the road.
It was very much Jeepers Creepers of Twister. She was like,
Yeah.
She's like Karen from Mean Girls. It's not already raining.
it's 60% chance of this tornado.
There's 40% chance the tornado's going to turn left.
And then she was like, oh, fuck, it turned right.
And then Tyler being like, damn it, she was right. I'm in love.
She's got good instincts. And then the British guy being like, who's she, governor? She's pretty intriguing.
You know, I want to talk about that guy for just a little second. He gave me big, super huge, the attorney from Jurassic Park vibes, and I was like, oh, this motherfucker's going out
The whole
quick.
movie.
And
Joe's
I was
been
just
like,
like,
he's
he
gonna die.
won't
He's gonna
die. I was like, for certain, multiple times, and he didn't fucking die. It was wild.
Did anyone we actually know die? Of course, like, her friends at the beginning died, and then random people were pulled up in storms.
Yeah,
But did
Kiernan Shipka died. Very upsetting. They killed the actual actress. No more Sabrina.
I spaced out a lot on that.
Just her friends, I think.
I
don't think they ever lost a
they
team
were
member.
going to, yeah, because Javi didn't end up dying, right? At the
Right.
end,
I don't think so. No.
I don't think so. Yeah, because he ended up. Oh yeah. Everybody lived. Not even
Yeah.
the bad guys died. They didn't
Yeah.
kill Jonas Jr.
Yeah.
They were just like, all you get to survive, except all of these extras, though. We're going to suck them out of movie theaters. We're going to suck them out of this rodeo. We're going to suck them out of this hotel.
Yeah.
We gotta
This
talk
theater's
about
not
the fucking
designed to
rodeo.
withstand that.
The
Oh,
rodeo.
yeah. Let's talk about this famous Stillwater
No, El Reno.
rodeo.
I've never seen that place
56
before in
years.
my fucking life. Isn't it El Reno?
I thought it was.
Is
I
it?
have no fucking clue. I've never seen that thing before. I lived in Stillwater for how long? I don't even know.
I figured that it was like somewhere out where they have calf fry, like some random field near Stillwater, just to. For, like,
I thought it was an
authenticity, but I
Oklahoma
could-
State thing.
Yeah, I thought.
I was like, maybe
too.
it's like one of the like outlying properties that the college owns because they have so many different ag programs.
I think
I
my
would have
favorite.
believed it.
I think my favorite part was everything's normal, and then all of a sudden they're like, these are green leaves falling. And
All
then
of them
guy's
at the
like,
same time.
There's a tornado! And everyone's phone's going off, and I'm just like,
That scene
You would have known
was
so
good.
much in advance.
We went to a movie theater. We were gonna go to a movie. They canceled the entire screening and shut down the theater and a lot of businesses in town because there was a threat of severe weather.
yeah.
And this rodeo went on until like the tornado was literally knocking on the front gate.
Yeah,
It was up their ass.
Like,
Yeah.
basically, anytime that we have severe weather coming, it's like school closings because
Yeah.
on
Oh,
the
yeah.
news on the news channels, you'll see all of these like activities closed, activities moved to Saturday, activities this, everything closes because that's a liability if you're running a business and a tornado blows through, especially one that you're paying for tickets and all.
Well, and like it is possible, beardos. If you don't live in Oklahoma or you don't live in Tornado Alley, you're not experienced with tornadoes. There is always a possibility that a storm could randomly spawn a tornado,
True.
depending on like the weather conditions. But
You know that
we
storm's
know
coming.
enough about it in advance that like most of the time it's not a surprise.
So, and that's the thing is those storms are coming in. You'll see lightning in the distance. That storm absolutely has electricity, even if it's dark. So you're going to know, there's a storm coming. So everyone's like, oh, I guess I'll check the radar or something. But tornadoes do pop up quickly in some of these storms. But there has to be a visible storm there before this tornado just appears.
Yeah, the entire time they were at that rodeo, from the very beginning, warnings would have been going off on their phone, if not earlier.
Oh my god, so many warnings because
Yeah.
your phone constantly has to notify you about just a severe thunderstorm warning.
Yeah, and they'll go off. They'll go off minute
So
by minute.
fucking much, and you'll
those
hear
animals.
everyone's phone go off, and you're like, what the fuck?
And those animals will completely behave differently. Animals give you so much of a sign of what the weather's about to do.
Yeah, that's true.
And then you go back to what she said. She catches the green leaf, and then she's like, the air's heavy. This isn't good. And I'm like, wait, you just figured that out? You're just like, it's so heavy.
I was like, Gary England would have been on this days ago, girl. What are you catching leaves for?
And
Gary England's up there and he's got a severe weather tie on. We got to get out of here, girlies.
Every local channel in Oklahoma City got to show their weatherman, and I'm sure they were all just like, "Eee!"
The weathermen in Oklahoma are local celebrities, the real local celebrities.
Which, speaking of Oklahoma in general, this movie was a majority filmed in Oklahoma, and that New York scene downtown where they're walking down the street and in the coffee shop was recorded in downtown Oklahoma City right next to my parking garage, and that coffee shop sells delicious cruffins because I go there a lot.
Oh. I'll take one of those.
Did you feel the air get heavy when you walked in?
I walked in and I was like, get your fireworks ready.
I'm getting that cruffin.
I like run out to my car and I'm like, I'm never going to make it. This is a Toyota.
You said, this cruffin is orange cranberry. Everybody get out!
Yeah, he says, I saw the beginning scene of the movie. You'll never make it if you have a Toyota.
They give me my oat milk latte and I'm like, she's coming.
You sip it and you're like, this is soy milk. Everybody get down!
Get to the center of the building. Get to the empty pool.
Why? Is there a tornado coming? No, I'm very, very soy intolerant. I'm about to shit my pants right here. We're at DEFCON 1, people. This is the EF5 of shitting my pants.
So
The camera pans to the people and they're like, ah, as the wind's blowing.
So speaking of the ill-fated friends, and let's bring it back to that. One more segment I want to talk about is, of course, the opening scene. So it's a little more dark and depressing than the original movie led us to be because it's more character development and more things happening and more things on the line. So it's a little more devastating when things happen and go south, I'll say, which I think the tornado actually went east and that's what threw them off. But they were these college kids just trying to get a grant and trying to become like Dr. Joe Harding and get some grant money. And so then they were chasing all these storms together and things went bad one day and the tornado intensified much worse than they thought. And because they didn't have a Dodge Durango, they were doomed from the start.
Or a Dodge Ram. You could have one of the two.
And lastly, they didn't have enough diaper absorbent material to make the tornadoes disintegrate.
I swear, they opened that fucking film up and immediately I was like, I got a bad feeling about Jeb.
Yeah. When they ran and instead of getting on, I would think, isn't the ground like you're supposed to lay down in a ditch? Isn't that what they say when you're outside?
I mean, you can. It's not ideal, but...
They even say, too, when she sees the overpass, they even say, like, no, that's the worst place you could go. And then they look back, and then they look, like, at each other again, and they do that cartoony thing where it's kind of like, after you! And they just take off. But then they climb up, and, poor Praveen didn't make it. He got blown away. And then so there's 3 of them left. And they get to the overpass, and they're crawling up the hill. But poor Addie, she can't make it. She just keeps sliding down the hill. She can't make it. And just when she's about to reach her hand out, boom, hit by a piece of debris. Ooh, bye, Addie. But then they get up to the top, and there's this random, perfectly Kate-sized, like, cutout in the concrete. And they basically, like, plug her in like she's a AA battery in a remote. So she's fine. She's solid. But then Jeb gets on top of her, and you're like, oh, maybe he'll be fine. Maybe they can live happily. Oh, God, there goes Jeb. Okay.
I actually think this is a little more of a Rose and Jack moment where you're like, there was probably room up there. And she was like, no, Jeb, there's no space. And she's like, got her arms stretched all the way out.
She's holding her cat. She's like, no,
Yeah.
there's no room.
She's up there on her phone playing a fucking game, or she's like on TikTok, like about to get blown away. # tornado season.
So there was a cut cameo from the film a couple minutes later when it shows the huge scar that the tornado left, and then it zooms back in, and Kate's walking like in a daze down the highway from her leg wound, and the state trooper vehicle pulls up. Girl, that's actually just me. And I got out of the car and I said, bitch, he could have fit inside you, and you both could have lived, Henny. and then it cuts to the opening credits.
I
They
watched
cut it
what
for time.
happened because I was just right over there, and you let him go. You ain't
were
getting in my car.
serious about this. I was really very excited because I was like, I was hoping for at least one cameo. Give me like a Helen Hunt. Give me something.
Oh, I wanted a Helen Hunt cameo so bad.
Yeah,
I wanted her to
but we
like
didn't get it.
work somewhere, be like a teacher or a grandma or something. I don't know,
They
something
put
sexy but still
they
smart.
put Bill Paxton's like corpse up there on the strings.
I think I was in the movie theater on, I don't know, whatever 8th drink I had, and I remember whenever the girl got to her mom's house, and I was just like, huh, that's the mom from Jim Carrey's movie Liar Liar. And I was like, what a weird movie to see her in.
I feel like I was talking about this with someone before I actually watched it, and I was like, "But did they bring Aunt Meg back?" And I'm like, no, they got a new Aunt Meg. It's like her mom or something.
It's kind of like how she aged down like Marissa Tomei in Spider-Man.
Oh yeah.
Now Aunt Meg is like totally fuckable. It's kind of like how Aunt Meg got down to like mom's younger sister, Peg. I don't know. It's a glow down up for sure somehow.
Yeah. It's an age down, glow up.
The worst part
Yeah.
about it was when they were like dining outside, and I was just like, okay, I'm gonna be honest, like, country
sounds
people
awful.
Just don't do that because there's just bugs everywhere.
Bugs.
But
There's
besides
fucking
that,
bugs.
I was sitting there going, there's definitely going to be a scene where they're like, I think there's a tornado coming, but no, nothing happened. It was just dinner.
That did bother me. I was like, if it's the middle of like tornado season, and we're in the middle of one, I don't want to eat outside because there's just a chance it could just start fucking raining. But two, it's going to be terrible outside because all that rain leads to, you guessed it, mosquitoes.
And humidity.
Ugh.
I love sweating profusely while I'm dining on corn on the
And
cob.
being eaten like a fucking buffet by mosquitoes.
And they chew me up. They're like, this, look at that guy.
Mental note to make that sentence that Jay just said into a sound clip for later usage
Oh,
somewhere.
God.
Where he said, I love sweating profusely while I'm sitting outside eating corn on the cob. I'm going to plug that in somewhere.
That's been an out of context moment with Jay.
That's all the context you need.
It's my life.
But should we go to a break and then come back and talk about our comparisons between Twister and Twisters?
Yes.
Well, it is time for a break, and as Alex Levy would say, stay tuned for the twist.
Hey listeners, are you ready to add some spice to your wardrobe? Check out hunkytops.com, the queer, Latino-owned clothing site that brings you the hottest styles. And here's an exclusive deal just for you, listeners. Get 10% off your first order with the code SUNDRIES. That's right, 10% off when you use the code SUNDRIES at checkout. They do offer sizes above 3XL. Just hit the contact button and request a larger size and they'll accommodate the best they can. So, what are you waiting for? Visit hunkytops.com today. Explore their amazing styles and wear your pride with confidence. hunkytops.com. Wear your pride, live your style. Remember, hunkytops.com. Use code SUNDRIES for 10% off your first order. Order now!
You're listening to the Beards and Sundries podcast, the news source that's still rated 5 out of 6 balls.
The twist is Twisters and Twister.
Ooh.
So, which one did you guys like better?
The original.
Twister.
Obviously.
I'm
Clearly.
waiting.
100%.
I'm waiting for a Blu-ray remastered original 2-pack tie-in like package set of the original with like new, never seen, behind the scenes, 4K, ultra remastered, blah blah blah, and it's just crap. And then like the new one, and like it's just a 2 Blu-ray set, or you can buy it digitally for like $5 less, but it's still $45.
In that bin in the middle of the aisle at Walmart.
I want a digital remaster of the new one, but I want them to put all of the old actors' faces on via CGI on the new characters. or alternatively, I want them to CGI Philip Seymour Hoffman's face on all of the new characters.
God, how much I would have loved that.
There was a little nod at that, though, wasn't there, with the ragtag group where they had the camper, and I was like,
Yep.
there's Dusty.
Yeah.
The whole thing was kind of a nod to the original.
There was kind of a scene where I pointed out to Anthony, and it's a point where the girl was flying her drone, she's looking over the caravan as, like, the two parties are coming together, and it made me remind myself, that was a scene in the original where they have a helicopter shot and it's showing, like, the team catching up on each other, and that was kind of a cool little nod to...
I'm disappointed.
An interesting part of it, too, was because you start out as the point of view of the bad guy. And it was kind of like a cool kind of flip to see her, like, finding all these holes and all those stories. And why is this? That's kind of suspicious. So that was kind of interesting because my favorite tie-in, I think, preliminarily, is when they were driving down the road and Tyler's red Dodge Ram burst onto the highway in front of them. And I looked at Anthony and I went, "Where's the road, Rabbit? Where's the road?" I was waiting for the air horn noise to come from their truck.
Also, how many times did she steal his truck, the bad guy's truck?
Right?
I was like, is she on the insurance? Like, is she like a shared driver? I was like, what are all the logistics here?
Like, I was like, technically, like, I can let somebody drive my car. If I give them permission for a short amount of time, insurance will cover it. He is running a business. That is not how that works.
It also makes me wonder, though, is that truck even insurable with the amount of modifications he's put on it?
That's a good point.
I don't know, because that thing was loaded down
I
to the
feel
gills.
like you're able to get a specialty insurance, but you're not going to get the value of, like, what your vehicle
actually
Also,
is supposed to have been worth.
Let's clarify before we move forward. I want to go back to what you just said, Jay, that he's operating a business. He's not operating a business. He's operating a YouTube channel. He's doing what we do, but a little bit better.
Hey, but there's a lot of YouTubers out there that are rich, and that is a business, and I'm not rich from it.
True. I guess he probably has enough money to put all those fucking modifications on the truck, so he's not doing bad for himself.
On his already
But
expensive
what does he
truck.
do?
But he's
like,
also being funded by the real estate guy.
No. The real estate guy is funding like the nice ones. He's not funding Chad Radwell at all. That's who I'm talking about.
Oh, sorry. I was on, like, technically the bad guy.
Oh, okay. Sorry. That's
My
I was
bad.
thinking of Glenn Powell and his YouTube business.
Yeah. Oh, well, they had a business because they sold shirts and shit like that. But they sold shirts to raise money to give people food that were ruined by the storms. And that's when the girl was just like, "Oh my God, you're the good guys, and I've been with the bad guys this whole movie."
I am obsessed with that first time where she's like, "We have to go help people," instead of like collecting that like multi-$1,000 piece of tech they left in the field. Because in my head, I'm like, okay, well, what are you gonna do when you get there? Because I don't know if you've ever been to like any tornado relief efforts, but like, you're probably not going to do very much.
You let FEMA handle that shit.
Like you're not like, they're not deploying you, Miss Ma'am, to go pull people out of like fallen down houses. That's what the National Guard's does.
I was like,
FEMA's
girl,
there.
your track record is not this great. Leave them alone.
She runs in there and she's like, "Scalpel! I need a scalpel! We've got to do surgery now!"
And it's just like the guy from Monty Python's Holy Grail, and it's like, "No, I'm fine. No, I'm not dead yet. I feel happy."
She puts on a stethoscope, but then it zooms down and looks at the victim that she's trying to get their heart rate, and it's just one of those giant novelty outdoor thermometers that you used to see on your grandpa.
Yes.
She runs on set and she's like, "I can help you," and then she pulls out like her little kid's doctor set. She puts on the big plastic stethoscopes.
The little syringe with the plastic thing that would go away. Yes.
She's like, here, hold this, and it's a teddy bear, and she squeezes it and goes, I love you.
You're going to be okay.
You know what I will say? The first movie did that so much better than this movie because it didn't ever go down that fucking rabbit hole of trying to like grant too much moral superiority by helping people, because of how far we've come from the mid 90s to now, where like capitalism, you're just sort of like, yeah, I mean, people have to make money. And so in here they made it to where it's like, if you are making money, you are absolutely not helping these people, and if you're not helping these people, you're a piece of shit.
Well, and the original Twister did a good job about being like, we have to go help Aunt Meg. It was a very kind of selfish, in a way, just like, we only care about one person, which, again, that's not selfish, but compared to this film, it was.
But like in that movie, they were like, Jonas is evil by merit of having corporate sponsors. And
Jonas is evil because he's richer than us in this task.
Yeah, he's using money from rich people, and that makes him evil.
You know.
And then in this one, they're like, okay, he's using money from rich people, but also they're doing bad real estate things, because that makes it even worse somehow.
It's true. It is the poor storm chasers that are like, we're way better than you, when
We got the moral high ground, even though we don't have the capital high ground.
when I'll be real fucking honest, in a real tornado season, watching all of those rednecks go out and chase these tornadoes and fucking block the road, it makes it so difficult.
So funny too, though, because that is one of the part of the movie that I was like, okay, this isn't exactly right, but when you see all of the little caravans in both movies, I'm
that's
like, okay,
right.
storm chasers, yes, they do exist, but like normally they're like maybe one or two cars. Like it's not like that usually. But then like you do see a lot of rednecks out there storm chasing.
So now you can pay money for storm chasing, like tourism. There's specific times where you can get involved with like this group that chases tornadoes so they can all go out and get pictures, because there's video of the 2013 El Reno tornado where a lot of people, like caravans of people, are out chasing these tornadoes, and they're
So
all
that's a real
panicking to
thing
get out.
now?
It's absolutely a real thing.
Oh shit! Well, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I must
And
not
so,
get out enough.
if you watch a lot of the news videos, you'll catch a lot of vehicles that are chasing after these, because it's a ton of random people chasing along with storm chasers. And that is one of the biggest complaints from storm chasers, is how fucking people get in the way constantly. Now you know.
Now I know something.
Storm chasing, it's the best thing I've ever done.
Well, this brings me to another point that I wanted to make. So you guys talked about the glass strength on his pickup truck in the new movie, and I think that's a throwback to the first film when they're driving past that tractor store, and the arm of the thing reaches out and shatters the windshield. But then, in the next shot, the windshield is in one piece.
Yeah.
It's
I
healed.
love finding those little flaws. There's also a cute little flaw in the original film remember when they're driving over kind of the muddy bridge and it's the tornadoes in the water throwing the cow around.
The water spouts.
Yeah, they'll like show that, and then they'll flip to a scene where they're driving in the truck again, and you'll catch at one point in their rearview mirror, it's like sunny
a car go
outside
past 'em.
on like regular paved road, and just driving normal car past.
That sounds right.
Yeah.
Hollywood magic.
And that is also the scene where the two water spouts spun them around on the middle of the street, didn't blow them off or blow out their windows.
I also love how they had the two tornadoes in this one. They're like, twins, twins, twins. And I was just like, do we have to do a shot-for-shot remake of the original movie? Because we could have just done a shot-for-shot remake of the original movie.
I was so nervous that they were going to throw an animal across of some sort. And I was going to be like, no, don't do it.
We gotta go, Julia. We got bison.
Guinea pigs?
That brought me to a scene during the rodeo part that I was severely lacking, and that was when the cow trailer like comes down and crashes, and I wanted someone running by to be like, "We got cows," or like something like that. Like that was just a little bit of pepper that was missing for me.
Also, that empty pool had that entire like enclosed area that they could get under with all the piping, and I'm like, that's not how a pool works.
Thought about that too. I was like, why?
Yeah,
is
I was
all
like,
the
how
pool
did she?
hardware
How did she
in the
know that?
pool?
How did she know? Did she like look at the pool and just be like, oh, it's undergoing maintenance. There's room for all four of us. Let's go this way. Like what? What?
Hello, strange lady with your child. Follow me outside.
The one lady inside like the lobby of the motel, and she's like, 9 times out of 10, it's a false alarm, and you're just like, oh, she's gonna die.
Yeah, but she's not wrong.
I mean, she is 100% not wrong.
9 times out of 10, the weatherman's just like, everything's gonna be the worst ever, and then nothing happens.
I love how like you have this transition to early in the movie where like everybody's so nonchalant about tornadoes, and they're like, woo, tornadoes, let's go get the tornadoes. And then as you get further into the film, everyone's like, run, there's tornadoes, you guys are so stupid, why aren't you running, even though I literally drove my truck into one twice already.
This is the most dangerous thing I've ever experienced in my life.
Yeah. That whole El Reno scene for me. That once again they would have known way beforehand. During the
Also-
day, tracking it on a clear day, they would have known way before they knew in the movie.
That movie theater, all they did was rip off the scene from Halloween
Yes.
Town, where where everyone's in the theater getting sucked into the screen with the devil guy, and I'm like, hey!
That was your callback? Halloween Town.
I also love the like throwaway for the theater where they're trying to get everybody in there, and he's like, "This theater doesn't have a basement." And then they cut to I think Glenn Powell, and he's like, "They're not prepared for what's coming." And I was like, "Then like 99% of Oklahomans are not prepared for what's coming because like basements are not a thing here."
Yeah, we have our soil doesn't support the hype of a basement like other states.
It's just not a thing that we keep. We might have storm shelters, but bitch, if the basement is the standard, you are not getting it here.
And because of our clay soil, people sometimes have storm shelters pop out of the ground because of the amount of saturation we'll get from rainfall. So could you
Ooh, that's-
imagine? It's
how
pouring.
exciting.
There's an F5 coming, and then all of a sudden you're like, whoa! Because your cellar just like lifted up, floating.
Wow. Are you kink shaming a house for getting
A blowy.
for getting horny from the potential of a tornadic blowjob, Jay? Really? Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
And now, for a word from our sponsor,
No.
Tornadic Blowjobs.
Now available on aisle 4.
It's just Joe on his knees, like, next.
And Jay looks over and smiles, and his teeth are stained from all the wine.
And I've got a candy cigarette in my hand because I don't really want to smoke, but I'm like, yes. And it's just red.
The prices are printed on his back.
Joe, lift your shirt. They can't see the prizes.
Come on, Joe, you gotta work harder. We're trying to get them corporate sponsors like Jonas. For $50 a month, I'll tattoo your logo on my eyebrows.
Joe, keep going. This is for the people. We gotta save them. On behalf of my Aunt Meg.
I have one last topic before commercial, unless there's anything else you guys want to talk about.
No, I think I'm good.
I could just keep going, so go for it.
I know you can. But one last thing that I kind of wanted to hit on before we go to our commercial was I think that they were trying to portray that Oklahoma is a total of 50 square miles because they kept saying Enid to Sapulpa to they were at Blackwell at one point. They were near Lawton at one point, I think, Anthony? I can't remember, but
They just
like
they
these
did talk about Lawton at one point. I don't know if they actually went there, but they did talk
driving to Enid from Sapulpa is not just a quick cutscene
It's
where
like
they
2
have
hours.
17 seconds of dialogue. Every time I kept being like, okay, so what happened for the other hour and a half of this journey one way? Did you guys just like sit there in silence and I don't know, share Spotify playlists? Like what?
I when they were at that Stillwater rodeo and she was like, I grew up on a farm in Sapulpa, I was like, You grew up on a what in Sapulpa? I'm sorry, the town of Sapulpa, the actual factual suburb of Sapulpa. It's not farming land.
It's literally Metro Tulsa. We can get to Sapulpa in about 15 minutes.
The amount of like industrial manufacturing industries that exist there. If you had told me I grew up in a like white or in a blue collar house in Sapulpa, my daddy worked at like XYZ manufacturing, I believe that because that's what's in fucking Sapulpa.
Yeah, or
let's just
dispensaries.
Let's just list off one town right off the bat that has a fun name that has farms in it. Muskogee.
Ooh, Quapaw maybe?
A fun town that has farms in it?
Just anything in Oklahoma that they could have chosen besides Sapulpa.
Literally,
Ooh,
like
Boise
anywhere.
City.
It's Boise!
No, it's Boise. And we're gonna die on this goddamn hill.
I don't know, anywhere in the Panhandle.
Buffalo.
Any place.
Billings.
Why
Woodward.
Sapulpa?
You could go to
Because
OK,
Altus.
Oklahoma.
Cherokee. Elk
could have
City.
been- Right, it could have been a suburb of OKC because that would have been more believable as like not the city girl, but not too far from it, so she's still smart, like that whole thing. Because they never went to Tulsa.
They could have literally picked up a map, pointed at anything besides the Tulsa or OKC metro, and got a town that has farming houses outside of it.
Yeah.
We have so many farmers in Oklahoma. There's so much farmland here, and you could have picked anything, but you picked fucking Sapulpa,
There's
Oklahoma.
literally a county in the Panhandle that I think has a population of 11. I guarantee there is a farm up in
It's
there.
called Farmington Township. In Farmington County.
Farmington Pulpa.
If you want to find out what kind of farming is happening there, be our guest because I'm too afraid to venture out there myself.
Oh, yeah. If you're a gay listener, you might be lynched out there. So send your
There's
straight
only
friend.
11 of them. I think you can take them, though. I believe in you, Beardos. Take them out.
I'll send my
If you can
neighbor.
kill that whole county, imagine. You'd be the most powerful person in whatever county that is.
Oh, my God. I only have to kill 11 people for power.
It's not a Highlander situation. It's just the fact that everybody else is dead.
It's like the game Risk, but in Oklahoma counties.
The game is 10 minutes long.
You finally went and you're like, I don't want any of this. Oh, but should we get going to a commercial?
Probably.
Yeah, let's go ahead.
All right. And now, for a word from our sponsor, Jay's Suck Zone.
Feeling the urge for a little lift? Looking for that sweet spot where you're not exactly soaring to new heights, but it's just enough to get the job done? Welcome to Jay's Suck Zone, the indoor skydiving experience that's, well, it'll get you something. At Jay's, we know not everyone needs an intense experience. Some of you are just here for just something. Something to fill that void without all the extra fuss. You won't be blown away, but hey, not every ride has to leave you breathless. With our okay-ish blowing, you'll feel a bit of a lift, just enough to say, yeah, this'll do. Not too hard, not too soft, just an average amount of sucking. And let's be honest, sometimes that's all you really need.
Hi, sir. How was your experience at Jay's Suck Zone?
Yeah, he was okay. So, if you're in the mood for something that'll get you there but not really leave you raving, come down to Jay's Suck Zone. We're not the best, but we're definitely something. Jay's Suck Zone. When you kinda need something, but you don't really care, Jay's Suck Zone will get you something.
Warning. Jay's Suck Zone may not satisfy thrill seekers, adrenaline junkies, or anyone expecting, well, a lot. Side effects may include mild disappointment, questioning your life choices, or accidentally texting your ex because, well, it wasn't that exciting. Consult your inner thrill meter, lower your expectations, and remember sometimes just okay is still better than nothing, right?
Hey guys, make sure you follow and subscribe to our podcast so you can receive a notification every Sunday when a new episode drops.
I went to Jay's Suck Zone, and I gotta tell you, I had a real mediocre time.
Hey.
It was just okay.
Couldn't you just tell me that behind my back, not to my face? Jesus.
Well, I'm giving an honest review.
Sundries.
I was really sucked away. 1 star.
I got there, but it just, it took a while, and it was fine. I had to think of a few other times I went to other people's suck zones.
I found out some things about myself. But we can talk about that later.
I had to picture a different suck zone to enjoy it.
He made me wear a full Victorian, get-up before we could do anything. That was kind of weird.
Show your ankles.
Oh my god! He spanked my ass and called me Dyson!
But you know what, Beardos, if you don't have any other suck zones you can visit, why not Jay's suck
Visit
zone?
mine! It'll get you something. Maybe
It
off.
is.
That's a great tagline.
Jay's suck zone. It's there.
It's begging for that classic.
Jay's suck zone. I mean, it'll do in a pinch.
Ow!
If you're on a schedule, maybe you
I'm
don't
wearing
want to
green,
drive that far,
If it's close by or you've had too many drinks, then go to Jay's suck zone because, I mean, it's something.
It's there.
And
Jay's
there's a
suck
Boost
zone.
Mobile right next door.
Next to the Popeyes.
Jay's suck zone. That's right. Sometimes it's better than your hand. Sometimes.
When you want something different from your hand, we didn't say better.
Exclusively in Yukon, Oklahoma, located between Buffalo Wild Wings and the Cash for Gold place.
Across the street from your local Beards and Sundries market.
They pull up and they're like, "Oh, there's a Crest grocery store nearby. Nice.
Giving greens for soup!
I can get some eggs after this."
Jesus.
Oh, they'll get an egg, at least. Down at Jay's Suck Zone.
Jay, did your suck zone suck in any Beardo submitted sundries this week?
I mean, a little.
That makes sense.
We got one. I'm also checking Apple Podcasts to see if we got any more.
One word.
Oh, no. No more.
Upset.
I'll check our MySpace notifications.
Let me log into AOL. You've got mail.
Welcome to Movie Phone.
The Mimsy.
No!
You selected 300.
Oh, my God.
God.
So Catherine emailed us.
Hi,
Yay.
Catherine.
Hey, Catherine.
And she said, "My loves, I would love to get your thoughts on Culver's if you've tried it."
It's fine.
I was okay with it.
So, this was what I thought was going to be awesome. Like, mind-blowing. Like, the levels of Whataburger you get when it's good Whataburger.
I was prepared for a lot of good stuff to happen at Culver's.
Yep. And while I did enjoy the order process because they had you pull forward and then someone brought you your food, so I know that's more commonplace nowadays, but back then when we went, it wasn't. So that was kind of different and kind of nice and a nice customer service model. But the food was just there. Like, it, part of it was we drove a little while, so it might have been cold, but I mean, like, the cheddar bites, their cheese curds were just kind of meh. Their burger was just kind of flat. It's just, it didn't really do it for me.
So it reminds me of Dairy Queen, which I love Dairy Queen's, like chicken strips and random stuff like that. I think their burgers are just,
So it made me feel a little bit like Chef Amberell because I got through with all of it and I said just drastically missing salt across the board.
Yeah. So maybe that was
Caucasity.
it. Maybe that was it. We didn't try their chicken strips or anything like that, so maybe they
But
are
I've heard
good.
their
I don't
burgers are
know.
really good, so maybe we just didn't get a good one.
Maybe. It
Or
was in
maybe-
Minneapolis, so I thought for sure it'd be good.
I thought
maybe
so too. I
maybe
thought
you
that
set your
would be, like-
expectations high.
We
also
really did.
super
I know I
possible.
did.
Because
We're used to having really good burgers here.
I've done that
we
before.
have great burgers in Oklahoma. People can say we're known for steaks or barbecue or whatever the fuck it is, but burgers, man, you can get the best burgers here.
Because I actually don't like people hyping up somewhere that I should eat because I'm going to be like, oh, this is really good. And so I've gotten to the point where I'm like, yeah, well, I hope it's good. Because there's nothing worse than me being like, this is going to be so great, and then being like, ugh.
And then the
Jay-
server comes by and it's just a cooked sweet potato with nothing.
My God. Yes.
You know where they wouldn't do that at? Cafe Cacao.
They fucking wouldn't. That place I will hype that up all day.
Cafe Cacao. I hear they're one of the top-ranked restaurants in the nation.
And you know what makes it
the
better?
nation, you guys.
Start off with mimosas, and then the food's even better.
Jay's like, I brought them here. I recommended it. And they look at both of us and just kick us as hard as they can in the balls. And they're like, welcome to the best experience.
It's when you listen to the podcast. Like, oh, you can welcome to Cafe Cacao. It's one of the best restaurants in the nation.
Also,
in an
Hall's
old
Pizza.
Wendy's.
So Catherine was not done. There's more. It is a pretty great and Midwest Okay, let me say that again. It is pretty great and a Midwest staple. Like, you can even get cheese curds there. Also, Dairy Queen fucking rules. Maybe because it was my only fast food growing up in my town, but it is nostalgic, and the chicken strip baskets with gravy are life. Ice cream is also pretty good, and who doesn't love a blizzard?
So I got to tell you, living in Oklahoma, Catherine, and we talked about it last week, but we have Brahms, and I got to tell you, you got to come eat Brahms, because everything that you said you love from Culver's, aside from the cheese curds, we can't get cheese curds at Brahms, not a thing, but everything else, as far as ice cream's concerned, as far as chicken strips are concerned, the gravy, the whole fucking shebang, Brahms not only does it well, they fucking do it great. It is so good.
I will relate to the nostalgia of Dairy Queen. Where I grew up in Kansas, Dairy Queen was a little better than our Brahms.
Ew,
And so
what?
we always,
Wrong.
we always did
Incorrect.
Dairy Queen. And I'm very nostalgic because my grandpa always used to drive me through, and we'd get our little swirl cones. And so that was just a really good memory, and I lost them when I was
Okay.
like 5. So I have like a really good nostalgic bond with Dairy Queen. But the
I
new
can see
ones
that.
just don't feel the same. But yeah, the food for
Yeah.
me still works.
Maybe next time I go to a Culver's, I'll scoop up the chicken strip basket and do that with the gravy, because I love a chicken strip basket.
I would be willing to bet that a good Culver's up there would be the equivalent to a good Sonic here. And I think we just hit either a fluke or something was
Yeah,
off.
we had to have just
I'd be
not
willing to
had-
give it another chance.
I'd give it several more chances, because
Oh,
look, like
yeah.
the idea of Culver's, everything that's on their menu is right up my fucking alley. Like, I love the idea of a Culver's. I just
The menu's so similar to Brahms and also very close to Sonic minus the drink options, but I mean, like, it's the same kind of fare, so it should be so comparable. So I think we probably just got an off day or a crappy crew. Something.
it had to have
Crappy
been
crew.
that. So so we'll try it again.
Side note to
Catherine.
make that sound clip from Jay into a file as well.
Side note, just
crappy
make
crew.
just make noises out of anything I say.
The Crappy Crew sounds like something from SpongeBob.
I was gonna say it
Oh.
reminds me of Krabby Patty.
The greatest gift you could give us, Jay, would just be an 8-hour tape of your ramblings. Just set it up next to you.
No, please don't.
I'll turn it on.
Anything but that.
I'll turn it
You know
on
what?
right
I
before
will
I go to
come to your
sleep.
suck zone if you will not do that.
How's this?
Yeah, that's about what I expected. But thank you, Catherine. We will try Culver's again. I am bound and determined. I'll try anything several times. Anything, literally.
We know.
So literally.
This is
Because
the
I
eighth
don't know,
time this
maybe I'll
week
like
he's
it
been
later.
a suck zone. It might get better one time.
I told you I love burning my life down, and I live for mediocrity. It's the best way to do it.
That's right, Beardos. We here at the market are very in touch with our charitable side, so we are willing to do that research for you. For you.
For you. We're going to go eat at all the Culvers. That's a lie. We will not be doing that. I don't have the time.
I thought you were going to
or
go
the
try all the suck
resources.
zones.
I probably tried them all, I think.
We're doing this for you.
I tried most of them.
That app already exists. It's called Sniffies.
It's not even an app. It's just a website. Anyways.
Sorry, Anthony, creator of Sniffies.
Joe, this is your boomer moment.
You're messing with my precious, precious ad revenue.
Joe's boomer moment. Get on the app and find a random hookup, and you're like, it's a website.
I'm going to write on their wall. That's not what this means. That's not what any of this means.
God.
I'm gonna poke you.
Thank you, Catherine. Let's move on to the next segment of the show.
Oh, okay.
Called I Got Poked at the Suck Zone. No? Oh.
Do we have anything to check out this week? I don't really have anything.
Check out us.
I have something to check out this week.
Oh, damn.
Super fast. This is not going to take up a lot of time, but since we're on the vein of movies, and because Jay's upset about it, and because his suck zone is so mediocre, I'm going to just keep going. I just got to go and go and go, and hopefully I'll get there at some point. Thanks, Jay. This is about all I can expect of you.
Why can't I get enough water?
I was hoping for you to just keep trying to do the suck noise and just keep on taking in too much air and just pass out at your desk.
Oh,
That would be fun.
how I couldn't tell you how ready I am for that.
But if you want to see a movie that's actually very, very good, you guys should watch the movie called Long Legs that just came out on streaming with Nicolas Cage and Micah Monroe. Yeah, keep going now. Keep fucking going.
I
Started this.
can't.
I'm well aware. That's why your suck zone is so mediocre.
Because I laughed through it the whole time.
So it's just like real life.
Now for something to check out. Just Jay making noises for like 10 minutes.
Are
No,
you
no,
done? Keep
that's-
going.
Fucking asshole. What a fucking dick. You're going to come up in here and interrupt me in the middle of me actually talking about my something to check out. And then you have the audacity to show up and ask me if I'm done.
I like how you're the victim here when you just made up a commercial about my suck
I am
zone.
the victim.
And it's
I
been
don't
20
care.
minutes of
And
saying
I'm
how
still-
bad I am.
I'm still the victim. I was
Everyone knows
victimized
it.
by
I'm the victim in this exchange.
Everybody knows. I went to Jay's Suck Zone. Everybody knows. It's mediocre. Everybody knows. And I said it was mediocre. And I
Not
told
the best
people it
suck
was
zone I've
mediocre.
been to.
People were saying, it's mediocre. And I said, yes, I told you. They
My
said,
suck
"Thank
zone is
you.
better."
Thank you. And they said, watch the movie Long Legs with Nicolas Cage and Michael Monroe. It's a great movie.
It'll blow you away.
Hey, Anthony,
Yeah.
what is Long Legs about?
It's about, I'm sorry. Long Legs is a psychological thriller / occult horror movie. It is. Oh my god! I can't believe we're still.
Okay,
doing
I'm
this.
done. I'm done.
Anyways, it's starring Nicolas Cage and Micah Monroe. If I didn't say that twice already, just in case it gets drowned out in one of Jay's weird little moments. But anyways, it follows Micah Monroe's character from when she's a child to when she becomes a special agent with the FBI, and she's tracking down these serial killers. And Nicolas Cage plays the serial killer who keeps popping up in these cases in sort of a way that's similar to the way the Zodiac killer showed up, because he leaves ciphers at the scenes of the crime. But the problem is there was never any like real evidence of another person being there, because all of these crime scenes were murder-suicides, where it would be a family and the father would kill the family and then kill himself. And so it's very intense psychologically. It's not something that I recommend watching while you're doing something else. You really do need to watch it because there's a lot of subtext happening. I had to pause playing the game I was playing to watch it and actually pay attention to it because there's just so fucking much happening. So yeah, it just released for streaming, so go watch it. Absolutely worth it. Really great movie.
Well, thanks, Anthony.
Sounds great.
I was gonna say, you wanna finish us off there, Jay?
No.
Oh wait, we don't have enough time for that. We only have a few more minutes.
Yeah, no, I don't finish you.
I don't know, Anthony. It sounded kind of sucky at the beginning, but then it sounded great.
Anyways, now that we're done with that, thank fucking God. Joe, you have a sort of game for us?
That's right. It's sort of game time. We are just doing 5 objects you would throw into a tornado.
Okay, perfect, good.
my
because I would have to change everything that was on my list.
I'll just start now if you want, because I do not want Mitch McConnell up my tunnel funnel.
It's a good number
my
one.
Tunnel funnel.
Yeah, that's a good number
Jay,
one.
do the tunnel funnel.
Do we want to do this then in intro order since Jay went ahead and started?
That's
Yeah,
I
that's
thought that's
smart.
what we were doing, so I just went with
Okay.
it.
No, that's perfect. Then I will mirror that with Donald Trump.
Oh God, I definitely
Nice.
don't want that up my tunnel funnel.
I know. I was like, I cannot
I was like,
be heard on national radio claiming
to our tens of listeners claiming.
My first one is a used couch from the frat house, because if I throw it in the tornado, J.D. Vance will not be far behind.
I was like, is JD Vance on the couch already?
Oh, he's gonna follow it all the
And
way
then
in.
how do you mean used? Used in a regular way or used in a JD Vance way?
Yeah, used in
Used
sitting
in
and
the house that I
drinking,
said.
or used and covered in jizz.
Yes.
Things can be two things. At a frat house, it probably is.
Just think of the worst couch you can think of on Facebook Marketplace. That couch.
All right, Jay, what's your number 2?
My number 2 is
You put
I
number
would
2 up there.
Huh? Oh yeah, I would throw my student loan company.
The whole thing.
Just every building, just poof.
Well, I went a similar route. I said Donald Trump's parents.
And the sheets they should have left them on,
Exactly.
just in case some extra was there.
All right, my second one is the Koosh Vortex Howler Whistler football from 1993.
What? Yes!
Remember?
I need
Yeah.
that to be in a movie.
Imagine how freaking rad that would sound.
Remember that thing? You throw that thing and you go, woo! It was so fucking,
I thought that was the
That's
neatest
a
thing.
that's a different episode. We have to talk about that at some point.
It's like one of those little tube things you get from the zoo. They're just thrown in a tornado, and you hear.
Oh, we got cows.
We got something up there. My number 3 was any Dodge truck.
But they can't get sucked up. I watched it in the movie. They're impervious to tornadoes.
Yeah, Jay, you idiot.
I just wanted to watch a field of Dodge trucks getting hit by a tornado, even though nothing happens to them.
Well, I went a really
Oh my
similar route. And I said Donald Trump's ancestors.
And the sheets they should have left their parents on.
Ah!
Take the mattress too.
Okay, so for number 3, I would try to reenact the scene in SpongeBob SquarePants where they get taken up by the pizza, like
Yes.
a parachute. So I'd run out in the field with a big giant pizza, and I would open it, and I would hopefully go, gently off into the clouds forever and leave this plane of existence.
So you're throwing yourself in the tornado?
Yes, but like in a super cool way.
What happens if you biff it and it's not super
And I'm
cool?
like, Joe, no! And I'm following in a Dodge truck.
Well, I was like, what happens if you get hit by a Dodge truck?
I look back and I'm like, wrong, Joe! And I point down at the ground, and there's Helen Hunt's cameo. She just looks up and she's like, asshole!
She runs after you. You're obsessed, Joe! You're obsessed!
She's climbing out from under a bridge. I want to get a better look!
Jesus.
Okay, my number 4 is slow left lane drivers.
Ooh, yeah.
They're not going fast enough to get out of the suck zone.
And I'm like, take them,
That's
tornado.
what the commercial could have been, but it wasn't gross enough.
God. Well, I did go another similar route to you, Jay. I said Donald Trump again.
In case he falls down, throw him back in.
Once isn't enough. If he's not dead, then I'm throwing him back in. If he is dead, I'm throwing him back in.
Can you imagine the original Twister? Once they threw Donald Trump in the tornado, and he never hit the ground. The tornado sucked him up.
Shot him straight into the sky.
Donald Trump again.
Random side tangent. When in the original film they're like, it sucked up the Jack Daniels bottle and it never touched the ground, I'm like, how do you know that? Like, that shit flies for miles sometimes.
So, funny enough, at our North Carolina location for work, they found it rained storms came through recently, and they found like all these roof leaks. One of the roof leaks was a bullet that had gotten lodged into the ceiling of the building from outside of the building. But it's just like the concept of somebody shooting a bullet up into the air on like 4th of July, because it was shortly after the 4th, and I was like, oh, I know, somebody was firing a fucking gun into the air. That shit landed on the roof and put a hole in it. And that's what I think of about that fucking Jack Daniels thing. Like, it's gonna go somewhere. Imagine you're just sitting out in your yard, you're enjoying the day, the storm is off, it's in the background, it's past you, you're putting your tanning chairs back out, you're gonna sit out and you're gonna sun a little bit now that the storm has passed, and then you get fucking killed by a Jack Daniels bottle.
And then it's a similar scene, but not exactly, like on Ghost Ship. He's just sitting there talking to his wife, and he's like, I love... And then all of a sudden, like, blood starts pouring out of his head, and he's like, "Yeah," and you see a bullet hole from falling from the sky.
You see a Jack Daniels bottle lodged in his skull. We didn't see it before because the camera was panned down.
And then later on in the film, she's like, I'll never drink Jack Daniels.
Oh my god. End credits, directed by Michael Bay.
Yeah, the tornado's just explosions.
Anyways, Joe, what's your number 4?
I didn't type these out, so I'm kind of like spitballing it.
Oh, I thought you typed them out. I typed mine out because I thought you had them typed out.
I think my number 4, I would throw a bunch of Legos into the air to see if they like would build anything, and then come back down.
Okay, I can see that. Maybe it builds a Jack Daniels bottle and flies over to the next county and kills someone.
It kills the guy sitting there with his wife.
You've never seen it. Miss this brick, and then hit your brick, and then create a Jack Daniels bottle, and then
kill
hit
some
somebody in
random
the
guy
head
2 counties over.
because he wasn't hiding in the right swimming pool.
Oh, Hollywood. All right. My number 5. Anyone who annoys me. Anywhere.
So
anytime.
everyone. All the time.
I'm
Every
just
person
constantly like,
at all times. Just think of that fucking Family Guy cutaway. Give me back my family.
Or he's on the cruise ship. Bye. Bye.
Well, I went a really similar direction. I said for my number 5, my last one, Jay's suck zone, because then maybe it'll actually suck.
It's the power boost I put behind it.
This is for your own good.
You're gonna like me now.
The tornado dies.
Oh God! All that absorbent diaper stuff. They got to it.
No, it was just Jay's suck zone. It's so mediocre it collapsed the tornado.
My suck zone's never gonna survive this.
All right, Joe. You have a look on your face.
I do, because I thought of a really... Oh, God, it's really controversial. I don't want it canceled.
Well, then say it, then cut it out.
Do you think 10 people are gonna cancel us?
We could get
Maybe I'll do a
canceled by 10 people.
bonus.
An honorable mention.
No, just tell me what it is, and then you can add the other one and decide if you want to keep it or not.
I was going to say, like, a tampon so that I could throw it into the storm and it would immediately dissipate because it's so absorbent with wings. And then I would be hailed as, like, the greatest white man on earth for solving the problem with women's hygiene products.
Or
something along that line.
Or you throw the tampon in and then the tornado just starts skipping. It's like, tee.
That would have been a great commercial.
Look at it go down the prairie. It's having such a good time.
I don't think the way you approached it is in a negative way, but as I'm thinking about it, I'm like, you could have gone so many ways at that exact combination that would have been super offensive.
Good job, Joe.
I really did have a number 5 in my head, and then I got to thinking about that stupid joke, and then it just flew out the window.
Well, a frolicking tornado.
Oh, window! That reminds me. Okay, my number 5 was myself again, but this time encased in a box of Dodge Ram glass. That way, no matter what happens, I'll come down safely and I won't die.
It's
okay, but this is sort of a
shut up.
Death-proof moment.
No,
right?
Shut up. It's death-proof. It's the best plan ever. It's not gonna break. But we're gonna have a breakthrough.
I don't know.
Just you wait. It'll be the biggest breakthrough you ever never seen.
I imagine Joe in like a Pope's outfit though in this glass box.
I'm just throwing it out there. In this situation, you are Rose McGowan inside of Death Proof. And you just really had to be over here to get the benefit of it because, yeah, it's not going to break, but you are going to die in the process of being inside this fucking box.
There is zero chance that I will ever be Rose McGowan in Death Proof, you ignorant slut.
Also,
I know. Your tits
zero
are never going to
evidence
be that perky and fat.
There's zero evidence that he'll die in that glass box. He could survive.
Okay, great.
Haven't you seen the movie The Glass? They're always protected inside those trucks.
I watched the end of this one where the glass was broken out after the truck turned over.
You're just I don't know, Anthony. You're just not made for this. You don't understand Hollywood.
Well, I hear the music coming back on, and it's Long Way Down by the Goo Goo Dolls because that's the only song I know from either of the soundtracks.
I hear the music coming back on, and it's the suck zone because Anthony's sucking all the energy out of the chat.
I haven't had dinner yet, and it's 7:20 p.m.
Oh. He's like Colin Robinson from What We Do in the Shadows. We're just
yes,
the energy vampire.
Me, anytime anybody like gets me way too far on a tangent about the franchise Aliens.
I like his girlfriend Evie. Sorry, I love that show.
But anyways, yes, I do hear the music coming back on, and it is Long Way Down by the Goo Goo Dolls, because between the last time I said that and now, I did not remember any other songs from either of those soundtracks. But, go call our hotline real quick. The number is 405-999-2242.
Sorry. I didn't know my volume was on and I was checking our TikTok page.
Fucking idiot.
You vapid slut.
Couldn't even make it all the way through the outro.
Has anyone messaged us today?
Does somebody love me because these guys don't?
You know who does love you? Ricky Chili.
Yes.
Anyways.
Was that on our end?
No, I mean it is on. Yeah, that's happening.
Oh. Okay. And Beardos, Aunt Meg just cracked an egg in the same pan she's cooking a steak in, so we've got to go. But if you'd like to go help us out, make sure to subscribe to our podcast so you can get a reminder every Sunday when we release a new episode. We also post frequent updates on all of our social media sites for any sundries that we add to the market.
And don't forget to rate us 5 stars and leave a review. Those reviews are what get us found by more people like you. And don't forget that if each one of you tells a friend about Jay's Suck Zone, you too can have disappointed friends.
Get on our socials. Email us at beardsandsundries@gmail.com and tell me, just me, how shitty Anthony and Joe are being to me right now. Because
I love how you
I'm never shitty on this show, ever! Also, you could tell us in TikTok and Instagram and Facebook and Threads, whatever the fuck I sometimes check. Go check out our website, beardsandsundries.com. Buy some more merch.
Well, thanks, social media manager Jay. And from the three of us, EFAG5s here at the Beards and Sundries Market, make sure to
love yourself.
Because Jay's Suck Zone is mediocre, so you better do it yourself.
And if you do suck yourself, that email is beardsandsundries@gmail.com. Bye, Beardos!
Bye, Beardos! We love you!
The Suck Zone.